Welcome students to the online class of mathematics. I am Rama Sharma this side. Today we will start next chapter 13th, that is direct and inverse proportions. Now the things which we are going to discuss in this chapter are when two quantities are in direct proportion, first thing, conditions for two quantities to be in the direct proportion, second, and the third one is to find out the missing quantity when two quantities are in direct proportion. And fourth thing which we will discuss in this, applications of direct proportion in day-to-day life. Students, first you must want to know that what direct proportion is. So let me explain this through an example. There is a family of 4 members and they need 2 liters of milk daily. 4 members need 2 liters of milk, and there is another family. 6 members are there and they need 3 liters of milk. What is the proportion? 4 members need 2 liters milk and 6 members need 3 liters of milk. It means the need of milk is increased according to the number of members. So see another example to understand this better. There is a boy Rohit. He went to stationery shop to purchase pencils. He purchased 2 pencils and the cost of 2 pencils is 4 rupees. And then he said that he wants 6 pencils, and the shopkeeper told him that 6 pencils will cost 12 rupees. So now here, if we compare both the situations, 4 members need 2 liters milk and 6 members need 3 liters of milk, and 2 pencils cost 4 rupees and 6 pencils cost 12 rupees. They are in the same ratio. It means if the values of two quantities are related in such a way that changes in one result in a corresponding change in the other, the two quantities are said to be in variation. So here you can see, if the cost of 1 pen is 12 rupees, cost of 2 pens will be 2 into 12, 24 rupees. 3 pens, 3 into 12, 36. Cost of 5 pens is 12 5s is 60, and cost of 8 pens will be 8 12s are 96. Means as the number of pens are increasing, so as the cost is also increasing. There is an increase in both the quantities, number of pens and the cost of the pens. There is an increase, and if the number of pens are decreasing, the cost of pens will also decrease. So here you can see the proportion. This is the direct proportion. Number of pens are increasing, 1 2 3 4 5 and 8. Similarly, cost of pens is also increasing, 12 24 36 60 and 96. Here you can see that when 1 pen we had to purchase, it was 12 rupees, and multiplied by 3 when we had to purchase 3 pens. It means 1 upon 12 and 3 upon 36 are in the same proportion. Got it, as you have done in 7th class. Equivalent fractions. 1 upon 12 and 3 upon 36 are equivalent fractions. Now see here, proportion is same, 1 upon 12 and 5 upon 60. When we convert into simplest form, 5 upon 60, it will be 1 upon 12 only, means proportion is same. And here also 1 upon 12 and 8 upon 96, they are in same proportion. So when there is an increase in number of pens, there is an increase in cost of the pens, and when there is decrease in number of pens, and the cost of pens is also decreasing. This is the direct proportion. So here we can conclude that when number of things is increasing, the other thing is also increasing, and when there is a decrease in one thing, and the related other thing will also decrease. This is the direct proportion. Now students, you must have understood what are the direct proportions. Let us start exercise 13.1, first question. Now you will better understand it. First question is, following are the car parking charges near a railway station. Up to 4 hours they take rupees 60, 8 hours rupees 100, 12 hours rupees 140, 24 hours they take rupees 180. Check if the parking charges are in direct proportion to the parking time. So you know that direct proportion means that it should be in equal ratio. Proportion should be same means equal ratio should be there, because proportion is the comparison of two ratios as you have done in the previous classes. So how we will solve? Time divided by cost. 4 hours divided by 60, when we cut it, it is 1 upon 15. Similarly, we will divide 8 upon 100, it will be 2 upon 25. 12 upon 140 is 3 upon 35. 24 upon 180 is 2 upon 15. So you see that their ratios are not equal, they are not in proportion. So we can say no, parking charges are not in direct proportions. Now let us move to question number 2. A mixture of paint is prepared by mixing 1 part of red pigments with 8 parts of base. In the following table, find the parts of base that need to be added. So here parts of red pigments and parts of base is given. As you know, in your houses also, when paint is being done, then colors are mixed in the white base. So here, if in 8 parts of base, one part of red pigment is mixed, then 4 parts of red pigments are mixed in how many parts of base? Here it is the direct proportion, because according to the parts of red pigments, parts of base will increase in the same ratio. 1 upon 8 is equal to 4 upon what? It is a blank box. This we can solve like this. 1 upon 8 is equal to 4 upon blank is there. So how we fill the blank? If 1 is multiplied by 4, 8 will also be multiplied by 4, it will be 32. Similarly, in the second part, 1 multiplied by 7 and 8 is also multiplied by 7, that is 56. And similarly, 1 upon 8 multiplied by 12, it will be 96. Then 1 upon 8 multiplied by 20, it will be 160. So answer will be 32, 56, 96 and. Now let us move to question number 3. This is related to question number 2. In question number 2 above, if one part of a red pigment requires 75 ml of base, how much red pigment should we mix with 1800 ml of base? So this is related to question number 2 only. Red pigments and the parts of base are required here. 2 columns we will make, parts of red pigments and parts of base. So how we will do this? See, parts of red pigments and parts of base. 2 rows we will make. 1 part of red pigment, 75 ml of base, and 1800 ml of base. And how many parts of red pigments we require? So since we know that when parts of base will increase, the parts of red pigments will also increase. It is the same proportion, means this is the direct proportions. So in direct proportion we take as ratio between parts of red pigments and parts of base. 1 upon 75 is equal to x upon 1800. X that we have supposed, which is not given. Red pigments parts we have to find out, na? So that's why we have taken x in place of that. So 1 upon 75 is equal to x upon 1800. Now we will cross multiply to solve this. Whenever ratio is there, proportion is equalized, ratio proportion is equalized, then we have to just cross multiply. Try to write x element first and the constants on the right hand side, x on the left hand side. First multiply 75 into x. 75 multiply x is equal to 1800 multiplied by 1. 75 into x is 75x. 1800 into 1 is 1800. Now 75 is multiplied by x as we have done in algebra. 75 is multiplied by x, so we will divide it over there. 1800 divided by 75, after cancellation 24 will come. So value of x is 24. Here we can say that 24 parts of red pigments are required to mix in the parts of base. 1800 ml of base. We require 24 parts of red pigments. Students, here in this chapter we have to make box with each question. There will be relation of two quantities over there because we have to find out the ratio and proportions. So comparison of two quantities will be over there. You have to make one box and see question number 4. A machine in a soft drink factory fills 840 bottles in 6 hours. How many bottles will it fill in 5 hours? Now here in this question you can see two things are there. One is number of bottles, other is time in hours. Two things are given. In one row you will write number of bottles, in other row you will write time given. So now when in a factory 840 bottles are filled in 6 hours, means in front of number of bottles you will write 840 and in front of time taken you will write 6 hours. And in this next column what you will write? How many bottles will it fill in 5 hours? Number of bottles you have to find out. In that column you will write x and in the other column you will write 5 hours. So then you will take the ratio as it is down and then cross multiply and find the value of x. This is the simple question, so you will do it yourself. Question number 4 is your work. Now question number 5. Almost all questions are same, just calculation difference is there. That's why some of the questions I will solve and some of the questions I will give you as homework. So you have to do yourself. Question number 5 is a photograph of a bacteria enlarged 50,000 times attains a length of 5 centimeter, as you can see in the diagram, as it is shown in the diagram. What is the actual length of the bacteria? If the photograph is enlarged 20,000 times only, what would be its enlarged length? So bacteria is very small, very tiny particle. So when it is enlarged 50,000 times, then it takes the length of 5 centimeter. And when it is not enlarged, means one time only enlarged, then what will be its actual length? Actual length means it is not enlarged, multiplied by 1 only. So then there are two parts in this question. One is we have to find out actual length. Second is we have to find out the length enlarged when it is enlarged 20,000 times. So two answers we need in this question. How we will do this? See the first question. Here we will make the box. In this box we will take in one row number of times enlarged and in the other row enlarged length. If we enlarge 50,000 times, length is 5 centimeter, and if we enlarge one time only, length is x, because we have to find out. And the second part is if it is enlarged 20,000 times, then what will be its length, that we have taken as. Now to find out value of x, we will take 50,000 upon 5 equal to 1 upon x. After cross multiplying, 5 into 1 will be there on the right hand side and 50,000 into x. Then take 50,000 down under 5. After cancellation you will get 1 upon 10,000. 4 zeros are there, then we will take 1 upon 10 power 4 as we have done in the 12th chapter. That power will go in minus. So 10 power minus 4 centimeter will be the length of the bacteria. Actual length of the bacteria will be 10 power minus 4 centimeter, because it is a very small, so then power is in minus. The next part is where we have to find out value of y. You can see here 20,000 upon y is there. First part will be same, 50,000 upon 5 is equal to 20,000 upon y. We will skip 1 upon x because that value of x we have calculated. Now the second part, same way we will do 50,000 upon 5 is equal to 20,000 upon y, cross multiply, and you will get 2 centimeter. So enlarged length, when 20,000 time it is enlarged, length will be 2 centimeter. So students, question number 6 is, in a model of a ship, the mast is 9 centimeter high while the mast of the actual ship is 12 meter high. If the length of the ship is 28 meter, how long is the model ship? So mast is the pole of the flag which is fixed in the ship. In the model ship, height of the mast is 9 centimeter and in the actual ship it is 12 meter. And if the length of the ship is 28 meter, actual ship 28 meter, and what will be the length of the model ship? It is the comparison of two ships, actual and model. Two ships are there, but their proportion is same taken over there. Let us see how to solve this. We will take two rows, actual ship and model ship. Box we have to make everywhere, and keep in mind while doing this that in one row unit should be same, not in the column but in the row. 12 meter and 28 meter is there in one row, and model ship will be in centimeters, actual ship will be in meters. Not column wise but row wise unit should be same. So now actual ship is 12 meter. In actual ship mast is 12 meter and in model ship it is 9 centimeter, and length of the actual ship is 28 meter. What will be the length of model ship? It is taken as x. Same way you will take 12 upon 9 equal to 28 upon x. Again cross multiply, 12 into x is equal to 28 into 9, and divide by 12. After cancellation you will get 21. So length of the model ship will be 21 centimeter. So this is the method to solve these type of direct proportion sums. Try to solve the rest of the questions 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th which are left, that you will do yourself. Wherever you will find the problem in the next video, I will explain that also. So now we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye.